is going on? It is the Infinite Banking Ask Me Anything, and I am Jonah here with.
Hey, Jesse's here.
Yep, and we are going to walk through some fun things about the Infinite Banking concept. We'll probably talk a little bit about what we've been reading, what we've been learning. We'll answer questions, and the reason for this show, if you're tuning in after we get started, is so that you at home can ask us anything that you'd like.
Anything at all.
About infinite banking, not anything at all.
Anything at all about infinite banking.
About
you opened with infinite banking.
did.
Ask me anything. So I'm on board for that.
I did, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're doing the infinite banking thing. So I'm actually going to try to get us live on another platform, Jesse.
Perfect. So as always, as you do come to the live chat or hit the replay, you can always put questions in the comment section. We're looking to read those and answer those here as well. You could put where you're calling in from. I've had a good bit of conversations this week from folks that were on the Ask Me Anything last week, and I always like that. I always like seeing people here, getting the name and the first few questions, and then having them jump on our private consultation calls that you could schedule, okay, on all of our links, to be able to have one-on-one conversations about your business, your goals, your plans, everything that you're working towards in vetting and implementing this infinite banking concept. And it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of good conversations.
I love it. Okay, I think I've got the other platform here. And we are going to go live in just a second and answer the questions. Jesse, reading anything cool these days?
I mean, yes, not necessarily in personal growth and development, but have a lot of fun reading with the kiddos. Is what
I've been
we've
having a lot of fun actually doing some books. We're doing audiobooks though with the kids, but I've been having a lot of fun with that. Oh, you said that.
Y'all were, you were telling me something about you had to hit pause on one. I can't remember what it was now. Something funny was asked in the car, and you had to hit pause on.
Yep. But I'm having a lot of fun with man, they grow up fast. Mm-hmm. Everyone always says that, and I don't think that I realized until you have your own children. Mm-hmm. And I've got a 6-year-old boy and a 1-year-old boy, and the 1-year-old boy is the spitting image of the 6-year-old boy when he was that age. Mm-hmm. And so I think that helps and puts it in perspective a little bit too. And I'm like, you used to look exactly like this. Yeah. In fact, the other day we were looking through some old pictures, and my wife was like, at one point I had posted this. She encouraged me to do it again. She was like, you need to post another little game in your stories. Is it Jalen or is it Julian? Because they look so much alike. You can get a lot of people by doing the posts, but they're like the spitting image of each other. So
I got you.
It happens quick. They grow up fast, and that's why we got to be prepared to pay attention to the finances, to leave a legacy for them, to make sure that they know how to earn money, where to keep money, how their money can continue to grow. That's a really important deal. So
it helps facilitate more stuff together as a family when you are building a private family banking system. Now, I've been thinking about that some this week, to where our boys have been having conversations with us and asking us questions about how they can earn more.
Yep.
And things along that line. So they're old enough that they want things and they want to do things and for themselves, and but because of family meetings and stuff that we've had before, where infinite banking is the hub, it's the center of that conversation in the family meeting most of the time. It's led us to conversations to where we could be using our policies for private lending within the family to help facilitate businesses that are run in our family.
There you go.
And my boys want to participate. Say, hey, can we do such and such with so-and-so and make a deal with them? I'm like, yes,
I like it.
Yes, you can.
I like it. That's very cool. Felicia says, hey, guys, tuning in from Alabama. Spoke with Jesse yesterday, and we're gearing up to start a policy with you guys. Hey, Felicia.
Yes, you might have missed me talking about you guys and others. I've had a lot of good conversations recently. Glad you're on this week, too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here. Again, if you're just tuning in, you can ask anything you like. Anything about it. I said it. Anything about infinite banking.
Books, apparently.
Anything about infinite banking you like, we'd be more than happy to share with you our journey of infinite banking. Mm-hmm. I have 10 personally owned infinite banking policies currently. I've got some more infinite banking policies that are owned with business partners, but I've got 10 personally owned that I manage. Jesse, you're going to love this.
Tell me.
For a long time, I was not being an honest banker. I didn't know to. So I wasn't repaying loans.
Yeah.
I currently have, this is not a brand new policy either. I currently have a policy with a $0 loan balance.
All right. So tell me, how long did you have that policy before you got to that point?
I believe the policy started in 2017.
How cool. Okay. Started in 2017, had it for several years. How's that feel to have that reservoir filled to the top?
It feels pretty good.
I bet it does.
It feels pretty good. It's really my first. I've had policies that I've started, of course, and hadn't taken any loans, so there's no loan balance. I've had little kids policies. We were just talking about the boys.
Mm-hmm.
I've got little kids policies that I've had, and we take small loans and repay them. So we never really took substantial loans, and they've had zero loan balances. So that's awesome. But this is kind of the first,
you've done serious banking since
big
2017.
One. Big one that's got a $0 loan balance. So that makes it's fun.
That is cool. Okay,
That's
congratulations.
fun. I'm sure it won't be zero for very long.
No. Well, I get that.
Yep.
But that's awesome that
It'll be fun.
Fulfilled that principle of refilling the reservoir, of putting the peas back on the shelf, so to speak, and you're well positioned now to capitalize on that golden rule of he who has the gold makes the rules.
That is exactly correct. We've got some, just for everyone who's out there tuning in, we are live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. We are live for our Zoom audience also. And we do have a Zoom participant who's just jumped in. So I'm going to mispronounce it. I'm sorry. Ron Mimi.
Awesome.
Ron Mimi, thanks for jumping in. We really appreciate you. This is our Infinite Banking Ask Me Anything. And so what would be really cool is if you ask us questions about infinite banking. So that's even for you guys out there in TikTok world. This is our Infinite Banking Ask Us Anything. You can ask any question you like about infinite banking, and we will be open books and answer that question. We'll show you things. We can do so many things. You just kind of let us know what you need to know about infinite banking. I've been practicing infinite banking for just under 10 years. I think May makes it 10. How long for you, Jesse?
Yeah, same. Right under 10 years.
Okay, perfect. I love it. And I am an authorized infinite banking practitioner, which is fancy, but it just means I've got the licenses, I got the designation, I got the certificate, it's hung up on the wall, so I can really answer your questions. So I think I've got my first question coming in from TikTok land, and I had somebody ask, what is infinite banking?
Well, that's the most relevant question right there.
That is a good question.
Around here, we say it's the way for you to save and spend your money at the same time.
That's right.
In a one-sentence answer, you can actually save and spend money at the same time.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. I'll give a little bit of a different answer just in case you want to be more helpful. I don't know, but a little bit of a different answer.
Yeah, give the detailed one.
Yeah, which is infinite banking is utilizing a specially designed, this is important, specially designed whole life insurance policy to become your own personal financier. And so you can finance things that you would traditionally go to conventional banks for or credit unions, traditional institutions, and you no longer have to do that. You can keep it inside your own family, personally, finance things through that life insurance policy. So a very big important thing is it's got to be the right type of life insurance policy, because you cannot do this with all life insurance policies. And there's been a significant amount of talk lately and on the internets about people getting that wrong, actually. They're trying to use other types of life insurance policies, and it just doesn't work. For sure.
It's happened for decades, but now you hear about it so much because of the internet and social media, et cetera.
Yep.
For sure.
So I had two people ask, what is infinite banking? So that was for you, Wesley. And the other person who asked right before you, apologies, I lost your name. So, okay. There we go. We're back. Yeah, there we go, Wesley. I appreciate you, man. Double tap. Okay, this is, I'm trying to read the name appropriately. So I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce your name, but it looks like Chrysalis or KLS Crystals. Might be KLS Crystals. Right. KLS Crystals says, is it like IUL?
No, but we understand why you would ask that, because the algorithm is going to put you and them and us and everything all together for sure. So when Jonah said a specially designed life insurance policy, the particular type is whole life insurance. And even just earlier today, I was hearing a story about somebody who was certain that for 10 years they had been paying into whole life insurance.
Yep.
And then they actually looked at the documents instead of just taking someone's word for it.
Yep.
Actually looked at what they'd been paying into for
It wasn't
10
whole life,
years.
was it?
It was universal.
Yep.
Just like the IUL. It was a type of a universal.
I had somebody, so this is crazy that it's also 10 years, but yesterday, myself and one of our other agents, Sean, same thing. 4 different policies for him, 4 different policies for his business owner, 8 policies. We're pretty positive their whole life. We've had them a decade. We looked at the document, not whole life.
Incredible.
Not whole life, universal life. He was upset.
Because, well, I'm sure to say, I mean, when you really understand infinite banking, the more upset you would have been over that decade of expectation that was not what it was.
That's not it?
Yeah, so the terms of cash value and permanent life insurance, just be careful of those. When we talk about becoming your own banker, infinite banking, saving and spending your money at the same time, whole life insurance, that's been specially designed.
That's right. Okay, it looks like we've got another question from Dr. Insane. Some life insurance agents don't know infinite banking. Why is that?
Because nobody's told them.
Yeah.
Nobody's taught them. This idea of infinite banking came from a guy named R. Nelson Nash. So it's not from the insurance companies. This is not from home offices. This is not from the industry. This is from a guy who conceived and then codified the concept in that book called Becoming Your Own Banker. Now, he was an agent. He had experience in the industry, but it was a process that he developed.
That's right.
That uses the product of whole life insurance.
That's a good answer. Here's what I always like to say, just for everybody out there who's wondering, like, why they're insurance agents, why don't they know? I like to relate it to other types of insurance. So think about your car insurance in your person that you went to or the person that you called. In my town, I live in Greenville, South Carolina. There's State Farm agencies all over the place, and every single one has a person's name on it, right?
Yep.
If you walk into that office and you say, hey, can you tell me about the safe driving check? How does that work? I'd really like a safe driving check every 6 months. They're going to say, we don't know anything about that because State Farm does not offer that. That's an Allstate thing. You saw that in the Allstate commercial, not the State Farm commercial, right? So if I'm a State Farm agent, raised up in State Farm, trained by State Farm, I work for State Farm, I go to the State Farm events, I don't know the Allstate stuff. I don't know it at all. Does that make sense? I only know the State Farm stuff. So you're asking, it's kind of the similar. I mean, it's different, but it's similar, right? Dr. Insane, you're saying life insurance agents, shouldn't they know infinite banking? And I'm going, no. Is New York Life training on infinite banking in their curriculum when they hire new agents?
They should.
They should, but they're not.
We
right?
would like them to.
Right.
Just like everybody to understand.
Just like I mentioned, I'm an authorized infinite banking practitioner. So I went and took the time to learn the course, to learn the information. That's why I know. So I'm on TikTok right now, chatting with a bunch of people. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you're paying attention. Give me a double tap. But I'm just chatting with you, answering questions because I do know infinite banking. Your traditional life insurance guy down your street just probably doesn't know, or else he'd say something about it or he'd talk about it or anything like that. So, okay, let's get more. We got any more YouTube questions? All right.
Felicia's hanging out. She's with us.
All right, Felicia, like to see it. Okay, I'm scrolling up just a little bit. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Kenny was in life insurance for 5 years before he learned infinite banking. What about favorite carriers for infinite banking or top 3? From Money Connoisseur wants to know that question.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's not, and I would preface answering that it's not the most important question which companies, but rather what type of company.
Yep.
And then the track record of that company. So the metrics let me give you the metrics. The metrics that we look for is a whole life insurance policy from a mutual company. So that's the type of company. We want it from a mutual company. Also a mutual company that pays dividends. And as far as the track record goes, a company that is at least consecutively paid dividends for 100 years without missing a single year, right? So those are the metrics that work. So obviously these companies have been around for over 100 years, longer than we've been alive combined. So they're not hiding under rocks, but we don't necessarily promote the companies as much as this process and using companies that meet those metrics. And we work with more than one.
Yeah, Money Coach says Penn Mutual is one of those companies. Absolutely, man. So Mutual, Jesse just talked about Mutual. It's in the name, Penn Mutual. So that's important to us.
Been around a
right?
long time. Yes.
You know what's funny? We had a gentleman come into the office recently. I'm coming back to your question just a second, TikTok. But we had a gentleman come into the office recently, and he said, as I started to learn infinite banking, read infinite banking, research infinite banking, YouTube infinite banking, Google infinite banking, I realized that infinite banking is almost as mainstream as it gets. It's almost as mainstream as it gets. Maybe not a lot of people know, but this is super mainstream. You're using the oldest insurance companies that have been around, using the oldest product that they're using, and you're just using it for this purpose. But some infinite bankers seem like, oh, it's a secret and you didn't know and they knew. And he said, why? This is super old and super mainstream.
It was normal for our grandparents to buy it.
It was normal. This is, you shouldn't portray infinite banking as some sort of secret that you didn't know and they knew. And he was like, no, this is mainstream. This is mainstream. You're using legitimately the oldest financial institutions that the United States of America has to offer in the oldest product that they have.
Yep.
And I thought that was really, I was like, you know what?
I
never thought
wasn't
about it
sure
like
what you
that.
meant when you said mainstream. I was going to let you develop it.
I never thought
I
about
see
it like
exactly
that.
what
But
you're
I was
saying.
like, oh, that's super interesting.
Yep.
Because I do carry sometimes I carry some sort of, it's people don't know. So that makes it mysterious. And it's like, no, it's not mysterious. It's insurance.
Right. Yeah. When it comes to the product. Yeah. Big, long history.
Okay. I'm coming back to you, TikTok. Okay. We got Penn Mutual number 1. They should, Dr. Insane says they should, in my opinion, so the product sells and people can understand. I think he's talking about they should teach it.
Teach about it. Yeah.
Teach it. Okay.
Well, that's what we're showing up
There we go. KLS Crystals again. Will you go into the process of how infinite banking works? Sure. And then Rocky Jr., what are some of the downsides? We'll talk about both of those in the same answer. How about that? Right? Process of how infinite banking works. So I'll take this one. Jesse mentioned it earlier. We do have a video on YouTube. You can find it in our bio if you want to. It's called the Save and Spend System. But that video details exactly how infinite banking works. I'll detail it kind of in short form for you now.
Yeah.
Infinite banking works by designing a life insurance policy where you, the person who's pays for the policy, can access liquid cash value now while you're alive. Now, the liquid cash value isn't generating out of thin air. It's not magic. It's actually equity or prepayment of the future death benefit. So let me now summarize those two sentences together. Infinite banking works by designing a life insurance policy and letting the insurance company know that instead of giving the big check to my family after I'm gone, please do that. That's life insurance. But I would like to use as much of that death benefit as I can while I'm still alive. Then, because technically it is insurance company money, because you are not passed. They owe you the money when you're gone. You're not gone. You've asked them to use it early, right? So because you are not passed, it is technically the insurance company's money that they have loaned to you. When you have that money, you now have access to what we like to call OPM. You heard of OPM before?
Other people's money.
Other people's money.
Tax-free.
You've got access to OPM. It's the insurance company's money, not yours. You don't have to pay income tax on it. It was a loan to you. And now we can use that money just like the conventional banks do to make lots of more money of interest, right? Conventional banks take other people's money, OPM, yours, you deposit it in there every week, and they start loaning it like crazy. And then they make lots and lots and lots of money back by facilitating the loans, by charging interest. And that's what infinite banking is also. So you got to have the right type of policy. Once you have the right type of policy, you can you do the infinite banking. So someone asked how fast you can get the money. And then again, we had what are the downsides, right? So why don't you take how fast we can get the money? I'll scroll back up, make sure we don't miss one.
Yeah, so once you start a policy, you own the policy, you funded the policy, it's yours, then you can access and leverage the capital that you're building up in that policy within 30 days. It could be quicker, but the conservative answer is 30 days.
Yep.
Essentially, once it processes through your bank, you can leverage it.
Okay. What are the downsides? I think Jesse gave a great answer for how fast you can get the money. And if it's okay with you, I might say that's one of the downsides. It's not quite as fast as your conventional bank. It's not quite as fast as your conventional bank. At the conventional bank, you can transfer money from your savings to your checking instantly. It's on your debit card. You can swipe it instantly. You're ready to go immediately, that sort of thing. So it's really, really fast.
Right.
Infinite banking is going to take just a little bit longer because you're going to ask for a loan from the insurance company. They're going to direct deposit it to your bank account probably. You can get paper checks if you want them, but I doubt you want them. And then once you have the money in the bank account, now you can use the money. So it's a little bit slower than the conventional bank. But generally speaking, that's not a big deterrent for a lot of people. But if you're going to call it a downside, maybe I'd call it that. Other than that, it's just a life insurance policy. So it would be really, really hard for me to say that there are downsides to owning insurance.
Yeah.
Right? Are there, I might ask you who asked the question, I think it was Rocky Jr. Rocky, are there downsides to owning health insurance? Downsides. Are there downsides to owning car insurance? Downsides. Now, I'm not saying you like paying the bill. I'm not saying that. Are there downsides to owning that product?
I like that direction.
It's a tough answer.
So the one that always occurs to me is it's not about policies. It's not about how policies work. It's not about the insurance companies. It's not about the time frames. That's something to manage, right? The time frames of making a premium payment to making a policy loan for the things that you're going to be doing in life. It's really just adding one step to what you're already doing anyway. That's not a big deal. To me, the problems are always our own, meaning if you had two cars side by side, Rocky takes one, I take one. And we say, hey, let's meet for lunch in 5 years. And let's say that Rocky's out there changing his oil, rotating his tires, and doing all the things that he's supposed to for a car. He's doing the right steps in that process. But I just dog my car, and I do not take care of it, right? I'm doing all the wrong things. Well, that's not on the car, Yeah. Whole life insurance predates us. These insurance companies, they've been around and profitable a lot longer than we've even been alive. But how we behave in this process definitely makes a difference. So I would say it's actually all on us.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, Felicia's asking, why are some of the children's policies only set up for 15-year premiums?
Okay. You've got a big spread. Really, even in whole life, there are things or products such as 10 pay, 20 pay, right? Meaning that it's a whole life policy that you'll own your whole life, but it's been designed for premium payments of only 10 years or 20 years. So 15 years could be it too, right? And then there are others where it's, you pay up to an age. So maybe you pay up to 65 or you pay up to 70. And then there are others that are, you pay for 100 years or 121 years even. So they're all whole life insurance. They are a bit different. Different types of those whole life policies might make sense for different peoples.
Yep.
I just said peoples. And but again, at the end of the day, that's why our private consultation calls are so important, because we're looking to custom build policies for you based on your needs and your goals and your plans.
Yeah, some people too, if you're asking me, if you're going to set up a kid's policy, I'm not going to recommend 15 years.
No.
Because more than likely, if you're going to set it up for the kids, you want it to be around a long time for the kids. More than, the kids are younger than you. That's standard. And more than likely, you want this policy to be going for a long time. If you're setting it up for the kid, the policy lasts for all of the kid's life. That could be a super long time.
Yep.
So you don't want to cut off the premiums after 15 years. Now, you might not want to stop paying them after 15, but maybe the kid's old enough now to get a job. Again, even if you start this policy on a newborn at 15 years old, you can go work for Chick-fil-A. I'm pretty positive. So if you teach your child to put the Chick-fil-A money in the policy, you can keep the policy going. Now the kid has the policy, paying for the policy, earning off the policy. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to put kids' policies at 15-year premiums, in my opinion. But I'm not gonna say that you did it wrong if you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, if in your mindset you consider a policy for yourself or for a child or grandchild, et cetera, right? Because we have clients, of course, that don't just have policies on themselves. They're paying for policies on nieces and nephews and children and grandchildren and that type of thing. If in your mindset you say, this is our private family bank, or this is my private bank, when are you ever going to quit using money in your life?
Yeah.
Never. So you're always going to use money. So that means you're always going to want a place to put the money. Yep. We suggest that you consider these policies, and it should be a system of policies over the course of your lifetime. And you just keep ratcheting up and scaling up how much of your cash flow is going to the policy system first. I mean, I had whole life insurance before learning about IBC.
Did you?
And, you know, I had some of those 20 pays. I bought a 20 pay. So I like the idea of whole life. I like the idea of cash value.
Yep.
This was something that I just privately went out and bought. But I also was pitched on the idea of only having to pay
only having
20,
to pay 20
and that's
years.
the mindset difference, right? Of whereas now we view these policies as we want to pay as much premium as we can possibly get into that private banking system of ours.
That's right. Okay, Alfred Clark asked, he said he was 60 years old. He wanted to know if he should get whole life or term. Looks like Megan responded to him and says they're used for very different things. It depends on what you're doing. Tom says you only really use whole for estate planning. And then the money connoisseur says it depends on what your budget and what your goal is. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Interesting spread of answers right there from the comments section.
It was, but that's what, unless I messed it up, but I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's neat. All right, so let's do them one at a time, right?
Yeah.
Legacy planning. Take that one.
So Alfred, you said you're 60 years old, and you don't know if you should get term or whole. So let me tell you a few things you just might want to know. Don't beat me up in the comments. Don't beat me up in the comments. Generally speaking, for a 60-year-old, term insurance is probably going to be relatively, I said the word, relatively expensive. Because if you can get, well, I'll say it more like this. When you buy term insurance, you can generally pick from 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. If you pick a 30-year term, Alfred, it's probably going to be crazy expensive. Like you cannot afford it crazy expensive. I've seen some 30-year terms for 60-plus-year-olds that were, the cost on this was $15,000 a year. It was wild. I've seen it. The reason that it's that high is because they know you're going to pass away in the term. So they're going to make you pay for the benefit that they're going to give out. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Just in case you didn't know, term insurance actually pays out about 2% of the time. Life insurance companies are very good at offering you term insurance when they know that you're probably not going to pass away. And so you end up paying a bunch of premiums and they don't really have to pay out a benefit. 2%. Go ahead and Google it. How often does term insurance pay out? Google might say 3%, 2.5%, 2%, but it's going to be very low. There's no chance in the world it's above 3% after you Google it, okay? So you probably could, Alfred, get a 20-year term or a 10-year term that is affordable. But term insurance is like renting your insurance, okay? It doesn't build any cash value. It doesn't build any equity. You're paying money, and you're going to have a benefit if you die in the term. If you don't die in the term, no benefit. And if you do die in the term, benefit. That's how it works. It's like renting an apartment, right? You pay your rent, you can live there. If you don't pay your rent, you can't live there. That's it. Whole life insurance, if you're buying it for the insurance feature, is going to last your whole life. So whole life insurance a lot of time gets a bad rep because since it lasts for your whole life, it's a little bit more expensive than the one that you rent. And I don't understand why it gets a bad rep. We've talked about this before. I don't understand why it gets a bad rep off that. Any aspect of your life is like that, right?
Yes.
Owning a house is a little bit more expensive than renting one. Duh, but I own it, right? That's what I don't understand. Owning a car is a little bit more expensive than renting one. Duh, because I own it. Right? I got to do you just mentioned, I got to do the oil change. I got to rotate the tires. I got to buy the windshield washer fluid. That's a reminder for me. I got to buy windshield washer fluid.
It sounded particular.
But anyway, Alfred, so whole life is going to be a little bit more expensive than term. Sure, but you get it for your whole life. So if you're looking for insurance and you want to make sure you've got it, probably go with whole. Again, you can buy term, but it's going to term out. You gotta kind of cross your fingers and say, if you're 60 years old buying 20-year term, you're basically saying, I'm trying not to make it past 80, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Anyway, okay, now infinite banking is properly designed whole life insurance. So it's not specific for the death benefit. We're getting the policy so you can use cash value. So that's a little different. I know that wasn't in your question, but it's just a little different. If you want to do infinite banking, it's because you want to become the financier. You want to control your income. You want to control your money. You want guaranteed earned interest. That's why you do infinite banking, not for the life insurance. So a little bit of a different answer. And so I think the comments did a pretty good job telling him it's different. It depends on what your needs are. It depends on what you're doing. Right, which is all we're saying. Also, we do what we call cash consultations. They're free consultation calls, and we walk people through exactly what you guys are asking here today. Like, what do you want to do, and how can we help you? And then, based on your questions, we'll actually give you like real advice on what you might want to do or might want to consider.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's how we do that. I took all the answer. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'll give you the
I was
next
trying
one.
to remember what all the other 3 comments to that question were. Somebody said, well, it's for legacy purposes, and somebody said something else. So I would say it does check the legacy box. I mean, when I bought my first policy back in 2016 for the purpose of paying off $50,000 worth of debt, family car, credit cards, student loans. That's why I bought that policy and funded that policy with a pretty significant percentage of my cash flow at that time. Day one, I still had that death benefit guaranteed for the whole rest of my life. So in my mind, I got to automatically check the legacy box. Like, my children were not going to start from scratch. Daddy was going to leave them something, or my wife, obviously, and she has a policy on her. So there's that. We're checking the legacy box just by having whole life insurance, and then how we can use the life insurance at the same time.
I like it. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Money Connoisseur. You're doing a pretty good job answering these questions. Thank you for doing that. KLS Crystals is asking very good questions. She's asking about paying it back. She doesn't understand why she doesn't have to pay it back. Can I help her with that one?
Yeah. So again, just think about what banks do, and then we'll ask, is it a profitable business? Banking. Okay. So if banks are taking our deposits and they're making loans out, how soon do they want you to pay that back? Right. So they want you to pay that back. So they have more money to be able to go out and do more of that. Right. More banking. So I want to mimic that myself. So once you realize that banks are out there making 400%, 1,200%, 800% on the dollars that we're putting in there. Okay. So we want to put money in our policies, and then we want to be able to deploy that money from our policies. And when we use that, I'll take my own life example that I just said a second ago. If I was going to pay the car people and the student loan people and the credit card people off, and I decided, well, I'd like to keep that money instead anyway. So if I fund a policy and I take capital from my policy and go on, pay off the credit cards, pay off the student loans, pay off the car note, and I don't owe them that monthly money anymore, I'm not bleeding out that interest dollar that I used to those folks, where should I put that? Why would I not refill my reservoir back for the next thing, for the family vacation, for the braces, for the next car, for, whatever, my property taxes, real estate deals, all different kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I love it. Hopefully that's helpful. Hey, Dr. Insane is asking us to show some illustrations, show some things on the computer to be helpful. Dr. Insane, that's a different show, man. This is just the Ask Me Anything. But here's what you should do. Same with KLS Crystals. You're asking great questions. If you go to the link in our bio and book a consultation call, we'll do it. We'll do a video chat if you want. I'll show you my policies. I'll pull them up. I'll scroll through my login. It's fine. It's all privately owned. It's not like you can do anything with it. I can, because I own it, but you can't. So I'll show you. But that's just a different show. We don't have the TikToks on the phone, man. We can't do the computer.
You got resources though. You can get in the Becoming Your Own Banker book. There are some illustrations in here, okay? Plus the explanations. There's our video. I mean, that's the place to start, is to watch our hour-long video on how to save and spend your money. At the same time, we have some examples in there, some illustrations in there. And then when you book that consultation call, after that, we can talk about what it could look like for you to have one properly designed for you, so that you could be looking at illustrations that are for you. Yep.
Hey, Carrie, I'm going to mispronounce your last names. I'm so sorry. Carrie Serio Larimore says, so this is just for whole life insurance. No. We are a channel that's all about teaching how to do the infinite banking concept. It just so happens that to do the infinite banking concept, you have to use whole life insurance. So I'm not sitting here saying that if you need life insurance, go get whole life insurance. I am not saying that. I am saying if you want to do infinite banking, you must work with someone who knows how to do it, and it's going to be through whole life insurance. That's what so we're an infinite banking channel. No. If someone calls my phone and says, Jonah, I really need life insurance, that's what that's important to me. I need to make sure that if I pass away, my family got $100,000, $500,000, $1 million. I'm going to tell them what everyone on the internet says, which is if your goal is life insurance, then let's go get some, and let's look at your options, right? Possibly term insurance, possibly whole life. It just depends on what fits their needs. I don't think it's a one size fits all. I'm not a big fan of one size fits all because I've got some one size fits all hats and they don't fit my big old head. Doesn't work, right?
You're growing the hair out too.
There you go. I'm growing the hair out, so nothing fits currently. But I'm not a big fan of one size fits all. So no, ma'am, it's not a whole life channel. It's an infinite banking channel. Does it cost to get started? She says, or just the premiums?
No, it doesn't cost anything to get started. Yeah, and here you pick your premiums. That's not a number that we tell you. That's a number that you pick based on your understanding of this concept. And I think the best way for you to understand and get towards knowing what's an appropriate amount of premium for you is for sure to check out our intro video if you haven't checked that out yet.
Yep. So just in case you didn't hear it, free 99 for us. And just whatever you want to put in the premium, that's what you're going to pay. So that's how that works. Somebody asked about death benefit. And then KLS Crystals is asking, is there a minimum premium, I think? Let me go back to the death benefit one real quick. Oh, they're talking about loans. If you don't repay the loan, it's coming out of your death benefit. That's correct. I think Money Connoisseur was helpful to do that.
Yep.
Or help us with that. Round Goblet, maybe? So I think they're asking, do you have to have like a minimum death benefit requirement or something? That's what it looks like the answer is that Money Connoisseur put in the chat, but I don't see the question. I'm scrolling up. Oh no, I don't like missing question. Oh, here we go. I found it. Round Goblet. Yeah. What's the minimum death benefit one can get?
I mean, it's going to depend. The way that I practically approach that with a client is if a client tells me that they do know that they have a certain amount of obligation or a certain number that they want to leave behind, awesome. We're here to custom build policies. We can help you with that. We prioritize building for cash value so that you could implement infinite banking, but it comes with a death benefit. So you're going to get one. We want you to have the one that you want, and we can help you get it.
Exactly right.
Like one of the biggest tools in the build, I guess I would say, and I've been using it more than ever, is with folks who already have whole life policies that have been structured for infinite banking, the convertible term.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's very good. Dr. Insane, what's the number? Question mark. I'm so sorry, man. Can you re-ask? I don't actually know if it's a guy. But guy or gal, whoever Dr. Insane
Our
is.
phone number.
Could you re-ask your questions?
Death benefit.
Carrie, are most of the policies affordable? Absolutely, because you get to pick the cost.
Right.
So make them affordable. Make them affordable for you. When I first started my very, 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 very first policy, somebody explained infinite banking to me. They did have examples. They were showing me on the computer. Apologies, TikTok is on the phone, or else we could show you stuff. You got to give us a call. We'll be happy to jump on the computer and show you things. But when I started my very, 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 very first policy, all the examples that they showed me were numbers I did not have. I believe they showed a $100,000 policy, meaning the cost, the premium, $100,000. I believe they showed a $50,000 premium, the cost, the premium, $50,000. I didn't have that. When I first saw my policy, like I just mentioned, it was almost a decade ago. I was 23 years old, I believe.
That's crazy.
Might have been 22 when I first saw it. So I didn't have that money. I don't know. I do know one or two 22-year-olds now who have that money. One or two.
Right.
But the average 22-year-old has nowhere close to that money, right? And so I got started. This is for Dr. Insane. Nope, he asked a different question. This might be for KLS Crystals now. Oh, this is for Carrie for sure. Okay, Carrie, you're asking are policies affordable? Absolutely. You get to pick your premium. When I first started, the premium that I had, the premium that I picked was $5,000 because that's what I had. That's what I had at the time. Now, since then, I just mentioned at the beginning, top of the show, I've got 10 owned whole life policies, infinite banking style. And the premiums are a lot more than $5,000, and even combined, they're pretty big. But I did not start there because it was my first time. I didn't really understand. I was broke. I had to learn it. So I started with what I had. So it was affordable for me because I picked that number.
I would say that when it comes to someone picking their premium, two numbers kind of come to mind. I like to ask folks to pick a number that's comfortable for them. Tell me your sure number, your certain number, come what may, hell or high water. What's that number for you? Just in our consultation costs. And then another number that I'll ask them is, what's your most imaginative number? What's the number that's crossed your mind that you thought, boy, that's a stretch. I can do it, and it'll move me towards my goals quicker. And then that just kind of gives you a range, right? But again, that's you picking. Okay, and then it's on us. We get to help you design that policy so that it meets those metrics for you to where come what may, you've got the hard months or the financial hardships or whatever that pop up. You've still got the policy to be able to use for your intended purposes, but it's also built robustly enough to be able to handle the capital that you're wanting to fund into the policy also.
That's right. KLS Crystals, do you have your own business to do this? How do we get more information? You better believe we've got our own business. Absolutely. We are currently in studio in the office in Greenville, South Carolina, but we work with people all over the United States. The reason I mentioned Greenville, South Carolina is because if you're close, then you can come on by. We'd be more than happy to have you in the office and walk you through infinite banking. But if you're not close, that's okay. We can do it over the computer. I've got my computer right here. It works, so I can use it. Okay. We are authorized infinite banking practitioners, which means that we have the certifications, the licenses, all that fun stuff to actually do infinite banking and to do it well. And we are licensed in all 50 states, so we can absolutely help you. I thought long and hard about getting a license in Puerto Rico. Never actually did it. I think I might be back. I might be back
pues.
for Puerto Rico. Ooh, you like how I rolled that R?
Yeah.
That's pretty good?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's from spending your time in Spain, right?
There you go. Okay, death benefit is what Dr. Insane wanted to know. Is there a minimum death benefit number?
There can be. Again, that's going to be dependent upon what you want, but it's never an issue. By the time you pick your premium and it's a premium that's appropriate for banking at whatever level that looks like for you, you're not worried about whatever the minimum death benefit is.
Yeah, you might be, Dr. Insane, you might be thinking that you're picking your death benefit because that's how traditional life insurance works. You pick your death benefit. I want $500,000. I want $1 million. I want 100,000. I pick my death benefit.
And to pay as low of a premium as possible.
Infinite banking is different. What you're actually picking is your premium. You're picking your cost. And you're going to let the insurance company determine what death benefit that is. But you're actually going to pick your cost. Maybe that's what he's asking. That's why he's a little confused.
That would make sense.
Okay. Vera says, planning to open a second policy, dedicating my. I don't understand the second part, but congratulations, Vera.
On scaling and growing a system now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Second policy. That's awesome. If you need any help with that, let us know. I don't know if you're using us to open your policy. I don't know if Vera's your name or your username. I don't know.
Give us another comment, though. I always am intrigued when people say, I'm going to start this policy for this.
Yeah.
Because some people just in their head, that's how they want to do it.
Tell us what you're doing, Vera. That'd be awesome. And are we helping you? Someone else helping you? Let us know. I just don't know your real name or if that's your real name. I just don't know. Okay. Oh, I hit the button. Okay, Vera. Dedicating more of her income to this. Love the idea of keeping her income. I love it. That's awesome. She already did let us know. Maybe I was too late. That's very cool. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. Good job. Opening your system of banks. It's really cool. That's
Keeping
awesome.
More of your money.
Keeping more of your money. I love it. Okay, KLS Crystal. So I put in $5,000. I borrow $5,000 and pay back with interest. Is that how this works? Ooh, KLS Crystals. You're very, very close. You're very, very close. But I can tell, if it's okay, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I can tell that we need just a little bit more education. I'm telling you, If you click the link in our bio, watch the video, and then book a call, we'll walk you through it. 1, the video will help you right off the bat. And then 2, we'll walk you through it. Not hypothetically, we'll walk you through it. KLS crystals, in your situation, we'd do this, or we'd recommend this, or did you see that in the video? Does that make sense? How it works? We'll literally walk you through it. That is one of the things that we do here at the Cash Compound. We help people set up infinite banking policies, then we walk them through them so they know actually how to use the thing. So
as far as the steps that she kind of outlined, that's how it was conveyed to me back in 2015. Where here are the 3 steps of infinite banking: is pay yourself first. And I think more people are maybe familiar with that kind of language now than when I even heard infinite banking back in 2015, because of folks like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Like, pay yourself first. But that was the first step that was mentioned to me. And then the next was pay yourself with interest. Now, that was a new one because I didn't know anything about banking. I didn't know anything about financing, being your own financier, and all these things that we're talking about now. Pay yourself with interest. But it makes sense, right? Because if we borrow from the bank, we pay them interest. Okay, got it. So second step, pay myself with interest, and then recapture all the money. Get it all back. Keep it all, and then grow that and scale that. So pay yourself first, pay yourself with interest, recapture all the money. She had all those steps in,
she did have all
in
the
her
steps.
comment. Yeah.
She did have all the steps.
You'll elevate your questions, and you are asking good questions now.
They're very good.
Elevate the questions that you ask next by checking out that video.
Yep. Okay, Round Goblet says, is premium the monthly payment?
Yes. If that's what you pick is monthly, you could also pick quarterly. You could do semi-annual, which is twice a year, once every 6 months. You could do annual. So you get to pick the mode. You get to pick the amount of premium.
Yes. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, Dante West. What's up, Dante? First comment that I saw. So thanks for joining us. What's the difference in whole and IUL? IUL. I'll take this one if that's okay.
Do it, man.
Okay, so IUL stands for something. It's not just, IUL is not a word. It stands for Indexed Universal Life Insurance. So the difference, there's a lot of differences, first off. But the difference that I'm going to harp on for you, Dante, is in the name. Index. Do you know what an index is? Okay. An index or an indice, multiple indexes. It's not indexes, it's indices. But indices are market functions. They're market functions. So the main difference between whole life and indexed universal life is one is tied to the market and one is not, right? There's hundreds of differences. That to me is the main difference, okay? With that difference comes a slew of other differences, but that's the main one. So when we're talking about being a banker, taking money, keeping more of your income, you just saw that comment. Scroll up a little bit. You just saw the comment. I want to keep more of my income. Do you think you can keep more of your income if you tie that to the market? Is that how you're going to do it? Probably not, because you'd never tie your checking account to the market. You wouldn't do it. You would never tie your checking account to the market. Again, an investment, sure, you might want to, you might not. Extra money, sure, you might want to, you might not. But when you're talking about keeping money in your family, making sure you have it, you stay as far away from the market as you can.
I like how you put that.
Right?
You wouldn't tie your checking account.
No way. When you're talking about saving money, you run away from the market. Only when people talk about investments do they go toward the market. But if I want to save money, get the market out of here. Right?
I got you. Yes, sir.
And we call our presentation the save and spend system. Get the market out of here. Absolutely not. So we're not using IULs. That's the main difference. There's lots. Okay. Okay, we've got more questions. Liz, we love guarantees. You better believe it, Liz, with the fire emoji. Okay, Money Connoisseur, the Banking Bros. We have to collaborate one day. You better believe it. Send us a DM, Money Connoisseur. Send us a DM, and I'll respond to it when we jump off here. We'll talk about it. Okay, Katrina Adams. When you say premium, do you mean amount you pay each month? Like $200 for a certain policy? Absolutely. Yep, I think Dante just asked that one also. So second time, so let's maybe elaborate a little bit, right? So, which you already did, but maybe one more time. So premium can be monthly if you choose monthly. Premium can be annually if you choose annually. But yes, when we say premium, it's the amount you pay. It's the bill each month, and you get to pick it when you're talking about infinite banking.
That's it.
All
that's
right.
it.
Okay.
That's the number that you get to pick to fund your system
That's
with.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Money connoisseur. She needs a consultation. I agree. Hopefully she's gonna ask for one. I'd be more than happy to talk to her. It'd be cool. But sometimes people think we're joking when we say we'll actually talk to you and help you. We're not. Right. We'll actually talk to you and help you.
You get to have that consultation call, and then we text and we call, and you've got that carte blanche with us to be able to ask all the different questions, and it's our opportunity to share the learning curve, and best practices, and speed up exponentially, your experience with infinite banking, because we do get to bring to bear going on 10 years of doing this thing for ourselves.
That's right. Okay. Haley says, my TSP government career is tied to the market. Not good sometimes. Sometimes it is good. Yeah, that's the market. Right. So again, I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes, but I'm saying your TSP, would you tie your savings account to that same market function as your TSP? Sometimes I save money and sometimes I don't. Sometimes
you need to keep using that phrase.
Right? But isn't that crazy?
I'm telling you, you need to keep using that phrase.
Speaking of TSPs, Haley, I actually introduced infinite banking to somebody in the FBI this last weekend.
Cool.
And she said, I need to have you come into the FBI and introduce infinite banking. And I don't really know what that means yet, but I thought that was.
Does that mean
fun.
Like undercover work?
I don't know. Am I Will Smith now? I don't know. But anyway.
Very cool.
Okay. Money connoisseur, Haley. Right. So think of it like this is your life savings is not in your control. Haley also said nope, which I think is an answer to would she tie her checking account or her savings account to the market.
Right.
CDV9 says pause. We didn't say anything, CDV9. Liz says maybe Denzel. Thank you, Liz. I'll take Denzel. I like Denzel too.
Sure.
Will Smith, though. I am legend. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Checking all the other platforms for some questions here. Jesse, officially, we've got 5 minutes left. What should we chat about?
Well, Felicia, if you're still with us on YouTube, there's a good chance for you to get in more questions. We had a great conversation the other day. Nice to see Liz here with us. We're here to answer the questions. What else you got? It sounds like lots of people are going to be checking out the video. Sounds like people are going to be hopefully reading the Becoming Your Own Banker book. We've got a Facebook community I would invite everybody to. You can find us on Facebook. We've got a community called Infinite Bankers. 2 words, Infinite Bankers. And that's another great venue for folks that are on Facebook to be able to see what other people are asking about. That speeds up your learning curve to see what other people are asking about. Here, we're just hitting it in an hour, but there you can read everybody's comments. So you get good feedback. It's good interaction. You can answer a couple of questions to be able to join that group. Ask your questions. Learn best practices.
Katrina says, do you have a podcast? We sure do, Katrina. It is called the Cash Compound Podcast. You can find that anywhere you get your podcast information. So I'm an Apple guy. I've got an iPhone, so I use the Purple Podcast app. That's what I use, and we're on there. I used to have Spotify, and it was on there too. I don't know what is Audible to do podcasts. It's on there wherever you get your podcast. It's on
all
there.
the platforms.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the YouTube channel. That's where I would say go. I'm a YouTube guy.
Okay.
So I would say go there.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch us do the podcast if you're a visual learner. Andy says thumbs up. Hey, Andy, I think we met. I think that's the Andy that I met recently.
Awesome.
If it is, give me another thumbs up maybe so I can make sure. Okay, Brandon Gilmore, he says yes. There we go.
Awesome.
What's up, Andy? Okay, Brandon Gilmore says, so when you pay the monthly payments, does that go toward what you took out? You want to answer that one?
I'm sorry. Ask it again. Felicia was giving me a thumbs up that I'd answered all their questions yesterday. You hear that?
Look at that.
Good. I answered all they'll never have another question.
We have someone who's joining us on YouTube watching for the second time, maybe longer.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
Who says, after chatting with you yesterday, all of my questions are answered, which is what we're saying. If you'd like to have a If you'd like to have a cash consultation, let us know. We'll answer your questions.
Absolutely.
We promise. Okay. Brandon said, when you pay the monthly payments, does that go toward what you took out?
Awesome. So here's what you pay towards and get when you pay premium. When you pay premium, you get a guaranteed death benefit. Okay. Tax-free windfall to those or the charities that you care about, right? You also create a cash value by paying premium. That's a compounding pool of capital that's going to grow uninterrupted compounding for the whole rest of your life. So death benefit, cash value. And then the third is that you stand to earn dividends. And all the companies that we would use have paid dividends for over 100 consecutive years. So every premium dollar, death benefit, cash value, dividends, and those can go up and do go up over your lifetime. Now, it sounded though like he was talking about maybe when you're paying back. If you take a policy loan, so if you pay premium and you fund that system, which is the first step, and then you leverage that system to go out and pay off something or pay for something, yes, we would encourage you to pay that back to refill that reservoir, the money that you took out, pay that back and pay extra, just like you would have if you'd have taken a bank loan. Banks are profitable by doing that. We encourage you to do it too.
Yep. I love it. Legacy Life and Retirement just jumped in the chat. I believe
What's
that is
up,
our good
Sean?
friend Sean. What's up, Sean? But believe it or not, I think we're going to call it. I think we're done right there. I think we got to leave them with something, though. We got to leave them with something. What should we leave them with?
I don't know. You tell me, Denzel.
You right. You right. You talking to me? Something. Hey, thanks for joining us here in TikTok land. Please, if you want more information, just click the link in our bio. Watch our video, book a call. We'd be more than happy to walk you through things. I literally, you could get me, you could get Jesse, you could get Jeremiah, my brother, the other banking bro. We'll walk you through it. Not only that, we can show you policy designs. We can show you we can do all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah. Just let us know that you're interested in having a conversation, and we'd be more than happy to do so. Hey, for all of those who watched the whole time, we really appreciate you. Great questions. Seriously. Very, 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 very good questions. We'd be more than happy to help you. And until next time, we'll see you.
Keep learning.